Now, next major component that comes into a business plan is the organization chart, the roles and responsibilities. Now, this differs from a startup to an existing company. What happens in a startup is you will have a very lean team with a lean organization chart with few people doing multitasking. That is what startup is all about. Now, when you are planning in for your organization chart, you also need to ensure that it is a free flow and a linear one, because decisions need to be made faster. You are not a big company which has its own departments, sub-departments, and then you have its own the hierarchical process. Why does a startup have an advantage is the decision making is faster, either good, bad or ugly, it doesn't matter. The making of decision happens at a faster pace. Now, this also goes on to become a disadvantage. Let us look at it. What happens as a founder, you would have put across various verticals like having a CTO, CEO, CMO, CFO or COO, and you tend to get involved into multitasking of doing too many things. Now, this is a major problem which a lot of entrepreneurs have when they get involved into doing too many components of the business. You also need to understand that you are a human being and there are only 24 hours in a day. You cannot multiply yourself to be present at all the decision making levels. So that is where you would have seen how process modeling becomes a crucial component in deciding the roles and responsibilities. Now, what happens in a startup is you tend to do multitasking. Yes, it is good, need of the hour, or whatever that you want to call it across. I am doing a bootstrap startup, so I need to do too many things. Like I'm doing a bootstrap on the grocery delivery, so I myself go on to become a driver. Fair enough, it's not a problem, but you also need to understand where are you taking this company by doing multitasking. You need to have few lean people who come into the organization. You cannot say I'll gonna run this business with all one man show. Yes, there are many businesses which are run by one man show. Remember, they are not scalable. It's like you running a boutique salon or a boutique shop or a restaurant. Yes, you can manage everything, but you will not be able to scale it. Now, for the scalability is where you have your hierarchical chart, because you need to delegate some works to some people with they come in with their own set of abilities and their own thought processes. But it might take time, so it shouldn't be like you take a decision within 15 days to sack a sales executive because he has not brought in orders. No, that's not the right way of looking at it. You have to give certain portion of time for each and everyone to perform, and because they also have to sink in with your vision. What you are thinking, they may not think, because it is not their dream, it is your dream. They are coming there to work to earn some money for their livelihood. So major entrepreneurs want that every employee who comes in should be thinking on what the founder is thinking on lines. So they get too fast, like where they take decisions in sacking people. That is where a proprietorship company never scales up, because it is all at the whims and fancies of the proprietor himself. He takes a call that who is good and who is bad. It should be a process that should take a call. So when you are designing your organization chart, you need to ensure that there are people to do something, like you have at least one person doing two multitasking components. It is good, because it's a startup. You come with a lot of passion, with your dreams to be realized and all those things. But it shouldn't be like same person doing 4 or 5 things. It will ensure that you spend time unnecessarily across things, whereas the output quality will still remain the same. So when you're designing onto your organization chart, please ensure that you have people, and initially, because you might be thinking, why should I pay? Because it is going to be a burden onto me. If he's not bringing revenue, why should I hire a sales executive? Fair enough, it's all right on what you're talking. But at the same time, you should also understand that when people come in, it is they who bring in your customers. So when you are doing on a bootstrapping basis, fine, you might have one person doing 3 things. But when you are slowly scaling up, you need to have more number of people who are going to come in and form the structure and lift up, so that it becomes a scalable business. Now, the same way roles and responsibilities also need to be defined. For example, if a CTO is the one who is going to take care of the product of the mobile app or the website, you need to give him the space to perform himself. You can't keep on getting into the technology component and keep making changes to it again and again, because that is not your forte. So what happens in a startup is, you as a founder, you get involved into too many things. So once you have a CTO, he should be given the task, okay, this is what you're supposed to do, this is how the product should look like. The same thing falls in for an operations person or a manager or an admin guy or a HR. You don't have to get involved into each and every component. Every role should come with certain responsibility, and benchmarking of the responsibility will design the outcome that is required for the roles that has been given in. For example, you hire a sales head whose job is to bring sales. Now, if you get involved into too many things of sales, saying, okay, hire this guy, hire that guy, you are doing this wrong, you are doing that right, to a certain extent it looks good, but beyond a particular point, it becomes nagging. So this is where a lot of startups have a high attrition rate, because when people come into a startup, they know that they are not going to be paid of what they are getting. But they also come in with a challenge that, yes, I need to take some decisions, which he wouldn't have got the chance to do it in his organization, which was bigger enough, where he was a small player into the organization. So keeping all these things in mind, you need to design your organization chart, the roles and responsibilities, and also ensure that each and every person is going to do what he's supposed to do, and you are just supposed to monitor and take care of things. Hope it's clear. Thank you.